Hi, this is Crystal from Crystallized Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make these mini succulent magnets. This is a project that is perfect for craft fairs, your own home, housewarming gifts, gift toppers. My family likes to put ornaments and that sort of thing on Christmas gifts, and this would be a really cute thing to put on a gift as well for a topper. Succulents are a really big hit right now. You can see I have a few over here. They're just a really nice way to add color and plant greenery to an area, and so the mini magnets are great for refrigerators. So I'm going to show you how quick and easy they are to make. I'm going to kind of go over what they cost to make and what they cost to sell, like a price point. And it's all going to depend on supplies, but I'm going to give you kind of an overview. And then I'm going to show you a neat way to display them at craft fairs. So let's get started on what you need. So first of all, you need some sort of a vial or a container or a tin. So I'm going to be making one in this little pail. They're cute. I found these at the dollar store. They're just a magnetized tin, so you don't even have to buy the magnet along with it. I found this cute one. This one was Hobby Lobby. This was also Hobby Lobby. I bought another one of these. I really like how this one turned out. So I did buy 2 of these. Also by the sand art, I found this plastic vial. I do have to get some Goo Gone or something to remove this sticker, but you could always do a plastic one. When you do, you also need magnets as if your tin or whatever does not have a magnet. You need to buy magnets that have the strength to hold whatever container you're using. So I would not need a strong magnet to hold up the plastic versus the glass, so keep that in mind. When you pick up magnets, these magnets for instance, it does have a magnet strength rating, so make sure to pick up magnets that fit whatever container you're going to use. You need artificial succulents, and I got these at Hobby Lobby as well. So they range from like $2.99 and up, and they do get rather pricey. So this is kind of going to depend on how much you would sell your magnet for. Is going to depend on the cost of all these materials. Obviously a glass container is going to cost more than a plastic, and then succulents also range in price too. So you'll need the container, the succulents. You also need moss, and I have reindeer moss here, and I also have the brown moss. These were picked up at the dollar store, and they really would create several magnets. You'll need the magnets. You'll need a hot glue gun and glue. You will need scissors. If you work with fabric, you're not going to want to use your fabric scissors for this project. We will be cutting succulents out. A couple optional things is the tweezers. If you really want to get around the succulents to shove in more moss, you're going to want the tweezers. And I found with some magnets there's a rough edge, so you may want to file your magnet down so you're not scratching refrigerators, or whoever purchases this doesn't scratch whatever they're putting it on. Alright, so this one right here cost me about $2.70 to make. That's figuring out approximately how many vials I could fill with the moss, how many succulents. I put 3 in here, so how many succulents it would, the price point for 3, so I took $3.99. I figured out how many I could make with this entire piece, and then I divided that and figured out the price for that. So that's kind of how you figure out the price. You figure out how much your supplies cost, and then what do you kind of want to make. So I did a little research, and any succulent magnets range from $9 to $20 depending on the cost of materials and how big they are. Maybe you want to stencil a letter here or a heart here. So really how much time you put into this is really going to depend on how much you want to sell it for. All right, so let's go into making this magnet. I'm going to use this little pail, and I'm going to use the brown moss. So I'm a messy crafter. I'm just gonna pull some of this out and get this bag out of the way. So I'm just gonna kind of guess at how much I need, and I'm just gonna put it in there. Now obviously I'm gonna want to glue it in there, but I kind of really want to see what I need before I glue it in. So that looks like a good amount. So with my glue gun, I'm going to put glue on the inside of the pail. And I'm going to stick that in before it dries. And I'm going to give it a couple minutes to kind of harden. With your scissors, if there's any extra, you can trim those off. You just don't want it to fall out. So it looks pretty good. Now I could go in a little bit more along the edges just to secure it a little bit better. Again, you don't want to sell something that's going to fall apart right away. That's not good business for you. So make sure that moss is secured in there. All right, we're going to let that dry a little bit. While that's drying, we're going to pick out succulents. So I think I want to do this color. So this vial holds small ones really well, but this pail looks like it would be really, really good with these larger ones. So we're just going to cut them at the stem, and we can cut them shorter. But right now I'm just going to trim them all off, get rid of that stem. Again, I'm a messy crafter, so I like to arrange them and then figure out and then glue them. Get rid of my tag here. All right, so I think I'm going to only stick 3 in here. So that's how I want it to look. Move this moss and extra succulents aside. And I find it better to actually glue on the succulent and then stick it in and get the moss on it. If there's any edges close to the edge of the pail, the succulent edges close to the pail, I can glue it right on the pail to secure it a little bit better. And I'm putting a decent amount of glue on it. And you gotta kind of be quick. All right, so I'm gonna let that. I do feel like this needs to be a little bit more secure. This is a little bit not as secure as the other vial. So I'm putting a little bit on the petal, and then I'm putting that petal on the actual container. And you might have glue strands. They're fine. You're going to clean that up later. I'm going to glue this petal down. So, do you see how I glued that petal down there? Okay. As this dries, you can take your tweezers and you can definitely pull out that extra glue. You don't want it to look, whoops. Now I got moss and glue stuck to my tweezers here. This, I might peel this off and redo that petal. I'm not sure I want that petal to look like it's got glue on it, but basically they're stuck in there. Now, if I wanted to add moss in here, I could definitely take some off and put some in on the tweezers with using the tweezers, shoving them in that way. But then I'd have to glue it down. So it's up to you, however you want. You can play with this and spend as much or as little time as you want on it. And then I want to decide which one's the front. So I kind of have a mark here. I'm not sure what that's from. So I kind of want that to be the back. I don't want people to see that. So I'm gonna choose my magnet to be on that side. Now this is a metal container, so it's automatically going to stick to it, but I want to glue it down. So I'm gonna put a very, very liberal amount of glue on the magnet, and then carefully add the magnet where I want it to sit. And let that dry. And that is the extent of making a mini succulent magnet. Now I do see a problem here. This handle, I could have made the handle come up. Let's see if I can get it to come up. There we go. I actually like that better. So that's the handle up. So that is how you make those. So you can also make them, instead of like a container like this, you can make them laying flat. So I'm not going to glue this in because you see how that's glued in already. And these, because it's a flat container, I'm going to want my, oh, that one just went flying. I'm going to want these stems a little bit, oh, that one went flying. All right, so you may end up with succulents all over your floor. All right. So I'm just going to shove this in. I would trim this up real nice. And then you glue them in as you want. And that magnet would sit on the refrigerator or your surface. Whoops. Like so. Let me get rid of that guy. So that's, again, I didn't glue this in, but that's another way you could definitely make a magnet, and it would sit like so. Oops. So, a neat way I found to store these, or to display them at craft fairs, is by making a stand. And you need just a few supplies. One of them would be a cookie sheet. And I took this cookie sheet and I took, boy, I'm drawing a blank here. Chalkboard, what is it? Chalkboard spray paint. And I just spray painted the one side. I took my silhouette and I made it to say magnets. And I have like a plate, or like a plate stand, or you could use a picture stand, and you could put these right on. Let's see, where's my other one here? And then you could use chalk to actually write your prices on this board. So this is a great way to show off your magnets. So I really, really hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'm really excited to see your projects. So feel free to post in the comments, to tag me in social media your succulent magnets. I would absolutely love to see them, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.